One famous YouTuber is coming after your kids. Propaganda on the way? No way, you say? Oh, it's true, and we'll show it to you. It's Miss Rachel. She's supposed to be putting out content for pre-Kers, but folks, we're sad to say she is doing all kinds of wacky things behind the scenes, and maybe it's time to hide your kids from the pink lady in crazy overalls. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Oh, how they will still go after your kiddos. Today, we are going to bring you info you need to know. Share it with your friends. Share it with your neighbors. There's something unbearable about Miss Rachel. Mr. Rogers, no, she is not. Folks, as we get ready to drop it like it's hot, click that like button and let's get underway. They call her Miss Rachel. Every time we cover this lady, we fail to get the views that we wish we could do. But folks, we're going to stay with this story because it matters so much. Miss Rachel is supposed to be the new Mr. Rogers. The problem is she is as crazy a whack job politically as you will ever find. Here's what we've got from Yacobi. It says, breaking: Miss Rachel, the viral kids content guru, has been revealed to be funding Abdul El Sayed's campaign. Parents should know that their kids are being indoctrinated. I won't say the next part, but if you read it, you know. What are we talking about here? Well, let's find out. Who is this man that Miss Rachel, a woman who wears overalls and sings to your kids and talks like this? Do you know your numbers? Great. She's everywhere on YouTube. Target has toys. They're turning her into a cartoon. Here's the guy that she just endorsed via Fox News.
I win. It was like, well, y'all came to me, so now I get to come at you. And problem to do that. Like, I'm looking forward to it. And people are like, oh, we don't primary this. And I'm like, watch me do it. And then what happens is, ideally, you put one ogre on a pike, and then everyone else gets the message.
And so some people thought that they were referring to her as the ogre. And one of the things she said last night.
So he talks about his political opponent, that the way to do this is to take them out and put their head on a pike like an ogre. And the fix for this, you might say, well, how in the world did this guy fix that? Well, listen to this, if it'll play.
Thank you for clarifying, you didn't call me an ogre. He made it very clear he was talking about Fetterman. Watch.
Whoa.
Referring to a guy named John Fetterman, who's a senator from Pennsylvania, who has done terrible things, got elected on a set of values, and is now completely throwing those values in the mud. And I do think it's important for any senator in Michigan to have a relationship with folks who are in the U.S. Senate. And if those folks are not actually acting in accordance with what they got elected on, I think it's important for all of us to have an honest opinion about what we're going to do to make sure that our Senate looks like the people it represents.
Wow. So John Fetterman, sitting U.S. Senator, this guy that Miss Rachel is giving money to, is talking about putting a sitting senator's head on a pike like an ogre. Marv, you seem to be just as amazed as I am about this.
So his defense when they thought that he was talking about putting his opponent's head on a pike was, no, I'm not talking about my opponent. I'm talking about putting a sitting U.S. senator's head on a pike. It's fine now.
Yes. Okay. Now,
John Fetterman is a Democrat, by the way. John Fetterman is a Democrat who believes in a lot of, the actual like Democrat talking points.
He's not Democrat enough.
He pushes back on the embracing of Islam. He pushes back on a lot of the social stuff, and that's why that's why he must have his head on a pike, according to them.
Now, set aside the Israel issue, because we always get lost if we start talking about Israel. We're going to have lots of different opinions. So set that aside for just a minute. The New York Post says kids YouTuber Miss Rachel, the new Mr. Rogers, they say, gave $3,000 to, skip that for just a minute, radical. The New York Post is calling this guy a radical. The New York Post is not a conservative outlet. I mean, it's not on the left. It's kind of centrist. It's one of the few centrist things we have. They're calling this guy, Abdul El Sayed, a radical. Okay? David Spector and Rich Calder writing this. Controversial kids YouTuber Miss Rachel doled out $3,000 to very far left extreme Michigan Senate hopeful Abdul El Sayed. Miss Rachel quietly reported the handout in Federal Election Commission filings. It's unclear whether the payout is a donation or a loan. El Sayed has called the government in the Middle East a rogue state guilty of, you got that, okay? You all understand that. He is also in cahoots with Hassan Piker, who has claimed that all Orthodox Jews are, quote unquote, inbred and that America deserved 9/11. Miss Rachel.
Disgusting.
Miss Rachel, here's what's disgusting to me. Let me show you this because this is what's amazing, okay? For those who don't know, Miss Rachel is a very big brand led by this woman, empowered by things like Target. Here it is, 17 best Miss Rachel toys according to a parenting editor. This out of Good Housekeeping. This is the Miss Rachel toy. They're everywhere. The kids are consuming this. But Miss Rachel is an extremist. And she is putting stuff out there, putting stuff in kids' heads. Parents, the reason we keep covering this, the reason I don't care, this may get almost no views. I don't care. If anybody sees this and can warn the other parents, hey, this Miss Rachel gal, she's bad news. Don't leave the TV on and walk out of the room with your kids listening to her say, oh my gosh, you're so great. She is a walking ball of hate. Vera, did you know about this? Are you aware that this pre-K YouTuber is doing this kind of stuff?
So I didn't know that, but I will say I'm not shocked. She has like a multi-million-dollar contract with Netflix. And we know how Netflix is and the types of people that Netflix works with. So am I surprised? Absolutely not.
Now, just to give you an idea, this is not isolated either. Out of Yahoo Entertainment, the Griot is hosted here on Yahoo Entertainment. Miss Rachel responds to criticism over speaking out about Nolan Wells, ICE, G-Side, and other humanitarian crises. Now, if you know who this guy is, Nolan Wells, he's a young man who passed away, drowned. And that's very sad. And we're very sad for everybody who loves this guy. But as of right now, it seems like there was alcohol and there was a very unfortunate, you drink too much and you get in the water, you get the idea. The authorities are looking into it. As of right now, there's no evidence of foul play, okay? People can disagree, but that's right now where we are. Miss Rachel, this YouTube woman, is absolutely going crazy trying to advocate like justice for Nolan Wells and trying to act like this guy was deleted from the world by racists and bigots when there is no evidence right now of this, or at least the authorities don't see it. And this is where we are. She is everywhere all the time. She in the past, she has liked things that were atrociously bad. And then she'd be like, oh, I didn't mean to click that. I'm so sad. It makes Miss Rachel sad that you think that Miss Rachel meant to click that. As soon as I found out, I unclicked it. She is bizarre, and she is propped up.
There on Instagram, there's an influencer called White Squirrel Magic. What is her actual name is Kate Scott, and she does Miss Rachel parodies, and they're so dead on and they're so funny.
Oh,
she'd be like, hi kids, M is for Mom Donnie. Yes. Like, it's really funny stuff. I definitely recommend following her.
I'll tell you something. It puts me in weird territory to say this, but folks, got to be careful who your loved ones are listening to and absorbing, and especially kids. You really do. There are a lot of people out there. They're not experts in anything they're talking about, and they talk about serious things or they teach serious things. And when you got somebody like this, Caro, teaching 4-year-olds, and you got a lot of parents out there, they turn their TV into the babysitter and they walk away and the kids sit there and watch this. And we're pumping a lot of negative stuff, because people just think, oh, well, like, for example, Danny Go. I don't know anything negative about Danny Go. Danny Go's this guy who sings songs for kids about dinosaur songs and robots, and yay, that's cool, right? But then you got these Miss Rachels, and you can't believe that every single YouTube channel out there for kids, is a Danny Go or a Blippi or Mr. Rogers. Some of these people are kooky crazy, and they are very interested in propagandizing your child.
I mean, there's a lot of factors at work that are trying to reach out to children and influence them. And it doesn't help that we live in a society right now where both parents have to work in order to pay the bills, so they don't have somebody that's at home to give children the attention that they need. And then on top of that, children like naturally crave attention from their parents. And so when they don't get it, they're trying really hard to get it. And then mom and dad get home after working 12 hours, wherever they were, and they just don't have it in them sometimes. And, you know, my heart goes out to families that are like that. And sometimes it's just easier to put them in front of these entertainment feeds just so that way they can get a break because they're just so overwhelmed with everything. And doing the due diligence to make sure everything's okay is also something that's taxing. So I almost feel like the media is taking advantage of exhausted parents so that way they can feed garbage to kids right now. I wish I had a fix for it. I hate saying this phrase, but I think it's a multifaceted issue that's not going to get resolved until we kind of change like the way that our economic system is right now. I was researching our boyo here that Miss Rachel's supporting. And I saw he's also got the wonderful endorsement from Bernie and AOC as well. So that's exciting.
You know, I think what it is when you see Miss Rachel or you hear about Miss Rachel, most parents just think politics. No way. She's teaching them their ABCs, but that's not the case anymore. Jonas, these are used, and Disney was doing this for a while, right? These are used as vehicles to get into the household in a way that they would never be allowed to do if parents knew what was going on. Like you would never say, oh, these are your beliefs. Come on in and teach my child. But if you wear a pink shirt and overalls, come on in on the TV.
Right. That's a reason. There's a reason why Disney Plus would usually wait till season 2 to introduce any characters in the rainbow.
Great point.
You know,
great point.
They wouldn't want advertisers to sign off on it. They would want everything to be fine. And then after they've built up this goodwill, they're going to put you in a position to where you have to make a decision for yourself. So the rule that we have in our house has been no YouTube without an adult in the room, because there are literally no controls on YouTube. And if it's dumb enough that you don't want to be in the room to watch it, well, then make your child watch something that's not dumb. Forgive me for being the grandstanding parent on that one. This is something where you really are not more than one generation away from complete and total failure. I know families that started strong and did well with all of the things in their life, and the structures and the traditions were good and strong. And then you get somebody who's like, you know, I'm just going to be in the orbit here. I'm going to be the one that just receives the benefit of working on all of these things that make a family strong. And then all of a sudden you have them making their own family. And sometimes that can be let's say a curative thing where they realize how hard it was. And so that they come in and they start working to make their lives better. But then there are those that are lost forever. And then the next generation is lost after that. When you abdicate your responsibility as a parent to someone like Miss Rachel and you don't actually watch this junk, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get people who write Disney Star Wars. And that sounds like a really dumb way to put it. But there's a reason that everything right now looks like a bad copy of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's because Buffy the Slayer was written by people who read original works. And Star Trek Strange New Worlds is written by people who watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This stuff, it all has the appearance of something nice and cute, but it's not something nice and cute. There are principled reasons to disagree with people like Miss Rachel. And then you look on the other side of it, and she is endorsing people that Hassan Piker likes to pal around with. Man, that's an appropriate last name today, considering the subject matter. I just want people to realize that the media they consume actually matters, and even more so for children who have yet to have their worldview formed.
Jonas, is it fair to say the snakes are always trying to get into the garden?
Of course. That's why I got a shovel, so you can, take them out. Oh, wait, are we talking about literal snakes here? Because
no,
I don't want to be compared to any political.
No, more dangerous than the literal snake is the snake that can speak mistruths, right?
Yeah.
So the snake that can come into the garden and mislead, the normal snake can strike your heel, make you ill, maybe even kill you. But the snake that speaks mistruths, that snake can kill for generations.
Yep.
And that's the snake that you need to watch and keep it out of your garden, because it will go for the most vulnerable, and it will say things that will wipe out decades and lifetimes and years and bring lots of tears to families. So keep those snakes away. You know, we've reached the end yet again, but ladies and gentlemen, we've had fun today, have we not? And until the next time we get to do so yet again, be a friend to the channel. Click that like button. Share your thoughts in the dialogue down below. And if you're not yet subscribed, well, we need you right here on Team Pro. Until we meet again, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.